She navigated the trading floors of London and the fast-paced world of New York finance, only to find her true north in the heart of the Mediterranean. Today we're sitting down with a woman who can discuss crypto economics in the morning, bring together women in gaming, and lead a cacao ceremony by sunset. From the women in gaming community to the quiet power of family traditions, we're exploring the multifaceted life of Joann Canosa. Joann, welcome to the show. Hi, Joann. Really pleased to have you here on Temple Talks.
Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. I want to get started in the first instance talking about kind of your geography growing up. So I've learnt you were born in the Lone Star State.
Yes.
Raised in the Golden State. Yeah. Educated outside the city of brotherly love. And you cut your teeth in business in New York, the Big Apple. Okay, so this gives me some indications when I've read a little bit about you, about this, your kind of personal journey and your professional quest, I guess, about tying different ideas, places, times, philosophies together. And this is something I really want to explore today with you on Temple Talks. To break the ice, we're going to do something we do with all our guests, and this is our box of questions here. This is up to you, at random. You're going to choose some questions, read them out, and let us know your answers and thoughts. This will shape our conversation today.
I love it. I love it. Okay. It's like pulling cards.
It is. It is.
Neat. Okay. So if we looked at your recently used emojis right now,
Okay.
which ones would tell us exactly how your week is going?
I love the depth of this question. This is great.
I love it. I love it. I do use emojis when I text. I've been using the melty face emoji.
How does that look? Could you show us?
It's like,
I love it. Okay. And what's it meaning? What's it meaning for you?
yeah, some people were asking me, hey, how was your weekend? And I had inserted that emoji as well as the emoji with the kind of like sweat on top of its forehead.
Okay, all right.
My weekend was amazing, but it was too busy.
Okay.
And I was telling people, hey, the New York City Joann was going around this weekend, kind of being pulled in different directions. But I went to a business mindset entrepreneurial conference called Power Circle, which was really insightful, but then ran over to my friend's farm to contribute to a 60-person wellness gathering.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's right here in Malta.
Exactly, yeah.
Incredible. Okay.
It was beautiful. And me and a friend offered ceremonial cacao to about 60 people. And we broke out into what we call ecstatic dance.
Okay.
So just dancing, no speaking, connecting to nature, connecting to Malta. And then I went to Bloom Festival as well.
Yeah, okay.
Which just had amazing reggae roots, techno music, but I was mostly in the wellness area.
Yeah, okay.
Getting that in.
Sure. That's brilliant. Yeah, so melty face
and the sweat.
The sweating comes down. Okay, cool. My favorite emoji at the moment is the handshake.
Yes.
You know, it's like confirmed, so pleased to meet you.
Yes, pleased to meet you.
Cool, all right, let's hit another question.
Let's see. If you could spend 24 hours in any city in the world, all expenses paid, but you have to go alone, where are we sending you? Ooh, that's a great one.
That's a difficult one because would you go somewhere that you've already traveled to? Or would you explore somewhere for the first time?
I would explore a new uncharted territory. I would love to go to Mumbai, India. I've never been to India.
Okay.
I've been wanting to get my yoga teacher training to tweak my practice, my own individual practice, but also teach others. And I just love the Indian culture, from its food to religion. I actually launched a Kirtan Bhajan monthly group.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that. Kirtan
Yes.
Bhajan.
Yes.
Okay,
And
what is this?
Kirtan originates from India, and it's a call to response singing, chanting of Sanskrit, of mantras that invoke just positivity, community, healing. And so I've been a part of Kirtan groups in New York, in Mexico, where I've also lived, London, and just really enjoy just singing Sanskrit and also other songs that are in English. But I used to manage a team in Mumbai and also Chennai when I was working at
So this is remotely, obviously.
Yes, remotely. I was working for Barclays Investment Bank in London and New York City, and managed a huge team out there. And I was invited to a wedding. It's been on my bucket list to attend an Indian wedding in India.
For sure.
I've attended Indian weddings in the US. And the rituals and the culture and the food and the
and
copious amounts of people.
3, 4, 5 days long.
Exactly.
And it's a really heartfelt celebration, for sure. That'd be incredible.
Very special country,
We need to
Mumbai.
try get you to Mumbai, India. Brilliant. Okay, let's go on. It was great. This has given me lots of food for thought as we progress.
Thank you. Would you? I love this one.
I like the reaction.
Yes.
That's good.
Would you rather have a personal chef who only makes healthy wellness bowls, or a personal stylist who picks out your outfits every single morning? I would go with the former.
I would have guessed that.
Yes.
For sure. You don't need help dressing in the morning, for sure.
Thank you. I love cooking myself, actually. My love language is cooking for others and feeding others.
Okay.
I opened my first restaurant in New York City. It's in Brooklyn.
Wow.
While I was working at Barclays Investment Bank. It's still there. It's authentic Mexican food. Our chefs, our cooks are Mexican.
And did that come before or after the travels to Old Mexico Way?
That came before me moving to Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm Filipino American. I've taught myself how to cook Filipino food, but the opportunity kind of just landed on my lap and went into business with previous restaurateurs that had that served Latin food. They're Latino.
Brilliant. Tell us a bit more about where in New York. Where
it's in the restaurant is called Bushwick Taco Company.
Okay.
And it's located in Bushwick, Brooklyn, which is right next to Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's in a very...
That's a great location, really. I mean, Williamsburg's come up so much these last, decade or a bit more, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, they even have an Apple store, right?
Yes, you're right. Yeah, you know Brooklyn very well. And Bushwick is very artsy, like Williamsburg. And brought in a female artist to paint a mural of Frida Kahlo on the wall of the restaurant. And I really wanted to bring in Frida Kahlo to kind of highlight women empowerment, art as well. I would have art exhibits at my restaurant. I didn't have money for marketing.
No, sure.
And so I was like, hey, why don't I invite artists to come?
And that brings a different community as well to the place. This is incredible. And that's an environment where, I think there's a real culture of kind of niche eateries and food places all around there. So this is great. So would you describe it as being something like really authentic, or you kind of a hybrid of like the Mexican cuisine and stuff? How does it look, or how did it feel?
Yes, the food is authentic.
Okay.
We thankfully, one of my business partners is Mexican,
Okay.
and his family had owned taquerias in
Okay.
New York, Queens, like back in the day. So they are the OGs
Okay.
of providing authentic Mexican, and so I really wanted to honor the authenticity of the flavors,
Okay.
but also be mindful of other demographics that have moved into Bushwick. A lot of people who are vegan, vegetarian, health conscious, and so also added onto the menu more vegetarian options. I had a falafel taco,
Okay.
which I think was the only thing on the menu that wasn't Mexican.
Yes. Yeah.
But also brought in a few like unique ingredients, such as chapulines.
Yeah.
These are grasshoppers, and beautiful like taste. I don't myself crave
No,
bug
sure.
eating,
Okay.
but I grew to know more about other countries that consume bugs for protein.
Okay.
And so that was really neat. A lot of people came in for the chapulines, and also served mescal worms. So if you've had mescal, it's very smoky.
Yeah.
And so these worms would taste smoky.
Yes.
So just added protein.
Okay. There's a novelty to this as well for
Yes.
people, I think. But what I'm loving mostly about what you're describing is this begins to show me like the different threads in your kind of thinking, your outlook on life with different things. So
Yeah, and that's why I chose like having a personal chef, because I work, 15 plus hours daily, and so I don't have the time to make my own food in a balanced way.
Yeah, sure.
I'm actually on a deep cleanse program with the doctor, and so it's very strict with eating certain greens, removing gluten, removing dairy, removing sugars.
Okay.
As I'm having like food intolerances as I'm older, so really like tuning into what my body needs that I could have eaten yesterday, but can't eat today.
Sure.
So personal chef.
So cooking
would
becomes
be
as much sort of like technical as well as creative, and as well as nourishment. It becomes all of those things. So
Exactly.
The personal chef.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
would agree with you. For sure.
One thing that I was really proud of doing, actually, when I relocated to London to work at Barclays. When I was working at Barclays Investment Bank, moved back to New York for a new role, and I was really involved in volunteering.
Okay.
Started volunteering at a young age, at like 8 years old. My parents were very philanthropic. So I'd give my toys. We would go to a soup kitchen and I'd give my toys to the children and we'd serve food. But that really stayed with me for my whole life. I do consider myself a philanthropist. But when I was in London, it was during 2015 and 16.
Okay.
When I had moved permanently. I was always going back and forth since the start of my career. But it was during the peak of what the news called the European migrant crisis, at the peak of the Syrian war.
Sure.
And I spent my vacation days going to these migrant camps.
Okay.
And spent a lot of time in Lesbos, Greece, which was the largest entry point of migrants from Turkey into Europe.
Cool. Yeah.
And that's when I realized I love feeding people.
Okay.
I was able to take my own money and contribute it to a Greek chef who was paid by the UN to feed hundreds of migrants that were coming in.
Yes.
And that was a really turning point in my life. I'd have to go back to the investment bank, manage a payments team, but then in the back, I would see BBC in the corner of all these migrants that were coming in to find better life, safer life for their
And
families.
this is commonality in, I think, in your journey, because this kind of almost like a dual identity, but is harmonious within itself. So on one side, the big picture is like hustle and bustle of New York, for example, or the skullduggery of London, or however you want to look at it. And then there's this other part of you, which is the philanthropic. I can't get the words out. Your volunteering nature, let's say, and we touched a little bit on the cacao ceremony and where that's rooted. That's about kind of connection, not just individually, but with other people. If I'm understanding it right, being a newbie to this thing.
Exactly.
And so there's this, you've kind of got this harmony between these dual identities, which some people can struggle with, I think, because it's we're kind of, especially in Western society, we're kind of put in this place where it's like you're one thing or another. It's like a career for life, that kind of mentality. Whereas maybe in the East or even in the Mediterranean, I think there's some things there where it's different to that. There's work is about purpose, maybe. Even it kind of extends into the notion of family, in a way. Those experiences that we have. And when I talk about notion of family, it's like, for example, like I'm guessing, but I think for you, like everyone is cousin. Friends.
Yes, we're all
right?
family. We're all connected.
In Malta, everyone really is a cousin, okay, but it's a different connection. And like where I'm from, like a cousin is someone that's geographically distant from where I am, potentially, because people disperse, families disperse. So pulling all that together, I think is like, this is what builds the foundations of where you're taking things. And so your experiences like contributing to the Syrian crisis and being stuck in an office maybe, and on one hand, making mega bucks for someone, but some kind of consciousness about, okay, hang on, I can contribute in a different way, positively, and these things can coexist. I think is incredible.
Thank you.
We have to move on. We need to do another question, but we've got to tie all this back together.
Yes,
okay,
sure.
Let's take another one.
Where do you go when you need to completely disappear and clear your head? So that is a very good question. And like a lot of people, I tend to have monkey mind.
Okay.
Where I'm like thinking, what should I do? What's next? Should I do this? I have a meeting in 30 minutes. So my head is always thinking, and okay. I'm very mindful of taking a step back, clearing my head, grounding, doing breath work and meditation in between meetings, so that I could just perform in the way that I want to, okay. And just be healthy throughout the day as I'm running into things.
I think this makes you a minority, I think, for sure, in that sense. I don't think enough people do this. I don't think it happens. So go on.
Yeah.
Tell me more, because I'm learning. I'm learning from you right now. So.
That's a really good point. Because it's tough, and sometimes we're like, oh, I wish there were more hours in the day, and we always kind of pack our plates more than they should be. And so I've learned this meditation modality called transcendental meditation.
Okay.
And there are different TM centers across the world, and they actually give you're assigned a mantra. And a mantra, it's not an actual word, but it represents peace, and you're assigned your own individual mantra by a transcendental meditation facilitator.
So someone makes
program.
This like a shaman, or
not a shaman, just a meditation instructor.
Okay, and they assign this word to you.
Yes, okay. Yes, and it's non-denominational. My former partner had suggested I do it. He learned transcendental meditation. And so I lived near Central Park. My office is in Times Square. So probably one of the busiest intersections in the state.
Sure.
In maybe the world,
in
the country.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I need to do my TM 20 minutes twice a day meditation. how do I fit it in? And I learned that I could do it anywhere. I could kind of clear my mind, disappear anywhere. So I would do it in the taxi ride from Central Park to Times Square
Okay.
pretty easily. I would ask the taxi driver to shut off the music.
Don't talk.
Yeah, and I would just...
That's a bit hard for a New York cabbie, I reckon, to be quiet for a bit. Okay.
So my point is, you can clear your mind anywhere. You don't have to be in a silent space, which is obviously ideal. You could do it.
But this is a skill to be taught and learned, I think.
Yes.
You know, I don't know so many people that can just switch off. And I mean, lying in bed at night, you know, people, it's like tick, 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 first thing in the morning, you know. So this is interesting. So you do that, and you've practiced that for how long?
I've practiced that since 2018.
Okay.
And yeah, it's really helped. It's really helped.
Yeah, that's good. So it's nice to know we don't need a beach, you know, palm trees and calm sea to disappear.
Exactly. Okay. It's when I was at Bloom Festival, I was doing a one-to-one sound, they call it a bath, with a multi-sound practitioner, George Attard. And he was like, oh, we're really competing with the reggae in the back. And I was like, let's do it. You have all your instruments here. And he placed his Himalayan bowls on top of me, and you know, just feeling into that, the vibration connecting to the earth, rooting myself, being grateful that I'm in Malta. I was able to drain out the reggae stage, the techno stage. There's a rock stage. So it definitely took a bit of practice, but everyone can. Sure.
And do you find that in your work as well, that you're able to really just sort of focus within that moment? So like the idea, I guess, of the most important person is the person in front of you in that moment. I think this helps you in those moments as well, because I see, you know, increasingly like people are really distracted by things. You know, you think you're in a conversation, but actually the mind is, you know, it's 10 minutes away from here, or it's last week, or it's, you know, a physical distraction from the phone. Do you find you use those techniques as well in sort of day-to-day practice, or is it purely about creating that space to find center, to be calm?
Yes, that's a great question. I do use these practices in between meetings and work. I don't do it enough. So I do feel that I'm not sometimes 100% present with the person in front of me. I'm looking at my phone. Maybe, you know, a bit anxious that I don't specifically know the topic that this person's talking about, or the question that he or she's asking me. So I'm on Claude, ChatGPT, trying to research while he's talking to me. And so it's, I find myself also being distracted and not like 100% focused.
But this helps, I think.
Yes, it does. So after a meeting, I'll take a step back, do a grounding meditation move, get some vitamin D, go outside for a quick break. Cool. I work from home, so I tend to not leave my apartment. My dogs just passed away, and I realized how much they were a part of my mental health routine. With going outside, walking them every 5 times a day, 6 times a day. And so when they passed recently, I was like, oh, I need to do a bit more movement, go outside, get some fresh air. So I'll meditate outside more so now than before. What's the one scent that instantly transports you back to your childhood home?
Wow, that's
I love
cool.
that.
Same.
I've lived in a lot of homes as a kid. We moved around a lot.
Who was at home with you? Who was there? You were a lot of people, big family? Or
big family in California. So grew up in between Malibu and Santa Barbara and Ventura County. It's a town called Oxnard, which had a naval base. My biological dad was a vet. And my family was just full my house, the house was full of family. My grandparents, they moved from the Philippines to California to help my mother raise my older sister and me.
Okay.
And at some point, my aunts and uncles were also living with us. It was a big, big house. And my grandmother was the cook. She just passed away actually in October in the Philippines. Bless her soul. She was 98.
Yeah.
Super healthy, not a wrinkle on her face.
Okay.
And some people are like, "How old are you?" And I'll tell them I'm 41. And they're like, "Oh, we would have never guessed." I'm like, "My genes."
Yeah.
They say
Good
Asians
genes.
don't raisin, and thankfully, like I get I get those genes from my grandmother. Anyway,
Yeah.
so my grandmother was the main cook, and she'd cook all these Filipino dishes, and the one dish that transports me home to that childhood home is called pusit adobo.
Okay.
And it is squid that is marinated in our Filipino traditional adobo sauce, which is soy sauce, garlic, onions, black pepper, and a little bit of vinegar.
Yeah.
With a side of rice.
And that just takes you back.
That
I can
takes
see
me
your
back
face
home.
is beaming as you're talking this through and thinking.
It was hard
about
to pick one dish.
And yeah. But it's that smell of cooking. And would that have been eaten on a particular day of the week, or?
No, I mean, Filipinos, we eat rice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
And my grandmother, she'd make it just maybe when we had guests over, or after Sunday Mass, she'll make that with a lot of other Filipino dishes.
Nice. Good. Well, listen, I think that brings us on to other fragrances. And I've been sat here smelling the cacao in front of us. And this, I want to learn more about this, but I also want to kind of make the connection between, is this something that's come through kind of the connection with Mexico and South America? Because of the connections of cacao with the Mayans and Aztec people, right?
Yes.
Or is this kind of Filipino? Because you had the Spanish trade routes, 1600s, and there's that kind of connection. And I think even cacao sits within the Filipino culture.
Yes, it's on the cacao belt.
Yeah, exactly. So this is two different things, but kind of intrinsically linked in a way. So tell us about your introduction to cacao.
Yeah.
And then let me try some, please.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for asking. So ceremonial cacao, I mean, we've all eaten chocolate before, but what we have here is ceremonial cacao. There are no additives. It's pure cacao. And it was cultivated by farmers in a very conscious way, with fair trade, with farmers who really respect the land and care for the land. But the first time I had ceremonial cacao, it was actually on my birthday, I believe in 2018. Okay. And it was at a co-working space that I was a part of in Manhattan called Assemblage.
Okay.
And it was a very special co-working space. It was created by a Brazilian real estate mogul who was sick. And one day he sat in a plant medicine ceremony. It was ayahuasca. And he had a vision of just his life being so busy with work and building his real estate empire, and him trying to balance the sickness that was taking over his body. Sure. And so he was like, I'm going to create this co-working space called Assemblage, where people can co-work together, but throughout the day, we'll have a wellness program, which included meditation, cacao ceremonies, yoga. We had thought leaders like Deepak Chopra come and speak, wow, and other wellness thought leaders. So I was going through a breakup, and one of the members who I had done Qigong with was like, hey, come to our Friday ceremonial cacao gathering that we
Okay.
have. It's offered by a beautiful woman when she gets the cacao from Guatemala. And I was like, okay, cool. Hot chocolate? Sure,
Yeah,
on a
okay. I
Friday?
wanted to ask you if that was
Yeah.
your immediate sort of
I was like,
response.
hot chocolate, sure. Like, this
Yeah,
sounds
yeah, yeah.
amazing. And so I learned about the ceremonial cacao and how it was actually used in ancient civilizations, as you mentioned. And it was considered by ancient civilizations, Mayans, Aztecs, as the elixir of the gods.
Sure.
They saw cacao as a food from the gods, and cacao liquid form as an elixir of the gods. And they would actually serve cacao to priests, priestesses, leaders, who would drink the cacao before gatherings, before leadership meetings, board meetings,
Yeah,
modern
yeah,
day
yeah.
board meetings. And they would drink it because it was considered a heart opener. And it actually has antioxidants, magnesium, that serves as kind of like a heart opener with the circulation of, it boosts the circulation of blood,
Okay.
it boosts mood.
So it's funny because when I was reading about this, I was thinking of that as like a metaphysical kind of heart opener. I didn't actually know it had these properties that physically, biologically, this helps as well.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. So I was thinking it on a different level, a soulful level of, like, I don't know, it connects you with yourself in that way. But
It
you're
does,
talking,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, go
No,
on.
don't
So
be
this
sorry. I love that you're curious, and I offer cacao to a lot of people who haven't had cacao before, even children. But people, adults, when I say it's cacao is a plant medicine, it is. It actually, a lot of people don't realize cacao grows on trees, and so they'll think of maybe the journeys that people experience when they're taking other plant medicines like ayahuasca.
But there's a distinct difference, I think, between ayahuasca and
Exactly.
cacao, right?
Exactly. So I
There's
tell
nothing hallucinogenic about it, or
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very light. There are different doses that you can take. I am serving us a meditation dose, which is about 20 to 25 grams. And this is like your dose where you're like, hey, I don't want a coffee this morning. I don't want tea. I'll have cacao to help boost my memory, to give me energy.
Okay.
And then the ceremonial dose is about 40 grams. And that kind of just gives you a different sensation to maybe meditate longer and connect with yourself more. It really depends on the amount of time you have to take the cacao.
Sure.
So this is actually a ceremonial cacao bean.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love for you to take one.
I can.
Yes.
Okay.
To see what it looks like. And during gatherings and meditation groups, I actually ask people to kind of close their eyes while they're peeling the skin of the cacao. It could be a little hard.
Okay.
And just picturing, you figure, so peeling the cacao and even maybe putting your intention into it and perhaps layers of yourself that you want to peel off, traits that you might want to shed that aren't serving you. And so that's what I like to do.
That's incredible, because when you said peeling off layers that you might want to shed, I just managed to get this thing straight off in a second, and it's kind of gone.
Wow. Yeah. And so I like doing that. I like showing people where chocolate comes from, and then you can even take a bite of it. But I like doing that mindfulness meditation of just releasing negative patterns, negative people in my life that aren't serving me. So yeah. And then I take a bite.
Just take a bite. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is from this in a block, and it's beautiful. It's
I expected this to be really bitter.
yeah.
And it's not.
No.
It's not. Okay. So this, what happens then from
Yes.
this point?
And so it's processed, it's pounded, and it's made into a block. And this is also ceremonial cacao from Peru. And a very, very close friend, she lives on the island.
Okay.
Kat offers this. I purchased it from her actually at Bloom.
Okay.
As I was visiting, and the liquid form, I had heated it up with oat milk.
Okay.
So it's vegan and a little bit of water. Sometimes I put sweetener, but I wanted you to try.
Yeah, sure. And how would you sweeten this? If you're living a sugar-free diet,
sure.
for example,
If I was, depends on where I was visiting. If I was, say, visiting Malta, I'd get some amazing Maltese honey.
Honey, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Or if I'm in a circle and conscious of people who are vegan and can't have animal byproducts, I'll sweeten it with agave.
Okay. Okay.
And sometimes I'll add spices, which also add health benefits as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So let's try some.
Here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And I have it in a cup that's hand engraved with animals from Mexico. And I had lived in Mexico, had learned how to offer cacao in ceremony from a Mayan medicine woman.
Okay.
When I lived there. And so I'm not Mexican, but I tried to honor the ancient way of offering it, and respecting where it came from, but also adding a bit of my own way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
To honor myself and the wellness I like offering. So, yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There we go.
What do you think?
Well, it tastes very different to what I would call hot chocolate, for sure. But yeah, no, it goes down.
Yes.
So talk me. So if you said you maybe do this like once a week, or
Do it once a week.
what would you be thinking when you're drinking? You're sort of clearing your
Yeah.
mind.
So this is what I would do if we were, like, say, in a gathering or just alone. I would actually put the cup near my heart. Again, knowing that the ceremonial cacao is a heart opener, and just connecting with my heart, putting my hand on my belly as well to connect with my breathing, my core, and just take deep breaths. So I do a lot of box breathing, which is a breathing technique that a lot of even combat people actually use before they go into combat. So it's
this is like
breathing,
slowing the heart rate,
slowing the heart,
the mind.
Exactly. So breathing in with 4 seconds, holding it for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, holding it for 4 seconds, and just doing that. And then also allowing myself to breathe as I breathe naturally.
Yes. Okay.
And then setting an intention for the day.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. What's in your mind in that moment? So it's
Exactly.
So
whether it's like,
place.
hey, I want to close another deal today for the fintech company that I lead. And I'll just drink it like you drink, a coffee or a glass of water and tea.
And go from there.
Yeah.
So raised as a Catholic and being here in Catholic Malta, is Catholicism still sort of central to your kind of belief, and how does that kind of marry up with all of this other insight that you've got about kind of feeding the mind and the soul?
It's a really good question, and I actually really appreciate it. I am a proud Catholic, And I like talking about my beliefs. So thank you for asking that. I am a practicing Catholic. I go to church every Sunday. I come from a very Catholic family. My dad has a Catholic radio station, actually.
Okay.
It's plays on Radio Maria, which is the #1 Catholic radio station globally, at least in the US.
It couldn't be named anything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we also have a chapel in our family home, and our home in Pennsylvania has become a very healing place for people. People around the world come and actually visit and pray, and we've had masses on our property. So it's very much a part of me, and it's interesting because I'll tell my parents, hey, I'm going to a retreat, and we're offering ceremonial cacao, and we're doing breath work and yoga, and my mom's like, but you're praying, right? And I'll say, no, Mom, I'm just doing breath work. I'm just breathing. I'm not praying. I'm really just actually clearing my mind of anything, of everything. And she's like, okay, but you also have God in your heart and your mind. And I was like, I do, actually. I do. And so it's been also a part of my journey to educate them on what I'm doing and what works for me, what works for my mental health, and just being authentic, or coming into my authentic self.
For real.
Yeah, and discovering who I am.
It's a personal journey, and it's a personal relationship with God or your belief, I think. So
exactly.
So
I'll say, I'm at church, I'm praying now, but I'm also now at a retreat, just not praying. But I love coming to Malta. My parents would love to visit. They haven't, and I really appreciate the culture and history that Malta preserves.
Okay.
In what they do. I mean, I went to a convenience store. We called it a bodega in New York.
Yeah.
And the business owner had his altar of religious figurines and a cross, and I really appreciate the authenticity of people in Malta and them and Catholic Maltese people being really proud of being Catholic, not hiding that.
I mean, we're on an island where you have more than 365 churches and chapels, Catholic churches and chapels. I mean, for the size of the place, this is phenomenal. So
exactly,
you're really immersed in that aspect of things.
Yeah, and I see that there's an absence in the US. With trying to be politically correct and not divisive, but also there's a negative aspect where you don't really have the freedom to state your beliefs or even wear something that is a part of your religious culture. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, they're big questions around sort of cohesion within community and diversity of beliefs and things. And I know you've moved around the States and you've spent time in London. Some of those places are, the most culturally diverse places on earth. I like to think, being a Londoner originally, that there isn't I come from a place where, a belief where, humans are genuinely good. That's the starting point. There's nothing Machiavellian about how I see the world. And on that basis, there is an awareness and there's a deep appreciation for that diversity. And then there's small pockets that kind of, shift that thinking. Malta's in a place right now where diversity is something new and fresh, and I think it's going to be really interesting, equally as exciting and equally as challenging to see how that kind of shapes our landscape over the next few years, definitely. So I think where you're coming from with this idea, sort of like there's three elements. You have to we talked about cacao and the physical properties of it. So this is like, exercising physically in a way, okay? And you said between get up, to move, walking the dogs, breathing, taking the air in. And then on another level, to really participate fully in what our planet has to offer, you've kind of got to exercise on a mental level, exercise yourself on a mental level. So it's like the ceremony part, or the yoga that you may get to do in Mumbai, or the retreat, is that's the exercise for the mind.
Yes.
And then beyond that, there's the soul part, there's the spirituality bit, and that's where maybe the grounding in Catholicism, and how you're very personal, or when I say you, I mean us, thinking people, like our personal relationship with the institution of our church or our temple and God. So this is really, really cool.
Yes, exactly.
I think you're like on the right path, and we should be listening to thought leaders like you on these things.
Thank you. That means a lot.
So earlier we introduced the idea of this kind of dual identity that you have. So on one hand, you're straddling a kind of a corporate world, sort of women in business, women in gaming, women in tech, your background obviously. And on the other side, it's this well-being, discovery of, I guess, a sort of a self-worth and empathy for others. And I know there's a significant word in your heritage of Kapwa, right? And this also resonates with the fact that you've touched on family as being something really, really important for you. So between language, dual identity, heritage, and appreciation of places you've traveled and visited, in the example of the Mexican restaurant, all of these things got me thinking about the name of your business, which is, I might pronounce it wrong, in English from London, it'd be Maganda.
Yes.
And I kind of got it right?
Yes.
And this is a really interesting word. It's a beautiful word. So tell me a bit about what that means, because I've got some ideas.
Yes, I started Maganda, which means beautiful woman in Tagalog, which is the language of the Philippines. I started it in 2018 while I was working at Barclays Investment Bank in New York, and also running the Bushwick Taco Company. And I was volunteering also on the side in my free time.
Okay.
At Barclays as the COO of like the Hispanic networking group, the Asian networking group, the women's networking group, but also the Barclays Disability and Mental Health Awareness Network. Mm-hmm. And I was bringing in thought leaders to come to Barclays to speak about their mental health journey. I was bringing in meditation facilitators to offer meditation sessions in the middle of the day. Mm-hmm. For Barclays employees to kind of take a break from their busy days. And I was like, hey, I think I can offer meditation and not just organize other meditation facilitators to come. And so I started offering meditation globally to Barclays globally. Every week, and then also started doing it at our fintech space called Rise, which was in collaboration with Techstars, which is a global tech accelerator that's accelerated thousands of startups, including unicorns, and they really loved it. Like, I had a lot of people join. The chief of staff at Barclays at the time was like, how did you fill up our auditorium? Yeah. We can't even fill it up when the CEO gives quarterly earning reports. And I had actually brought in someone that I knew from Assemblage, the co-working space.
Okay. So it goes full circle.
Yeah,
again.
it went full circle.
This is you all over. You're this connector, this bridge.
Yes.
Okay. And I think that's the golden thread in your story till now.
Exactly.
For sure. So Maganda is, you talked about beautiful. It's like if you look at it from the kind of your corporate identity within that and what you're achieving, it's the kind of very much the external, right? And then from your I guess holistic outlook on life, it's the internal beauty as well. And I think that just sums everything up. Then we kind of get into these threads around, you've talked a lot about diversity, working with different communities as well, on many different levels, and tying that all together. And there's also something very much about empowerment. So you start from a place where it's about empowering yourself for, whatever those aspirations might be, and what I'm interested to learn about now is how you're transferring that with other women within the corporate sector. So tell us about your role and maybe the connection with Malta in particular as a hub for gaming and fintech, and where you're at with this.
Yeah, and that kind of brings in Maganda and why I decided to launch it in New York. So with Maganda, I was able to help corporations strategize around their work balance programs. So I had offered kind of wellness strategy to corporations, but not just corporations, but also retreats, festivals, to small groups, including women's circles that I host, to one-to-one sessions. Okay. And I have been on the board of an association called Women in Gaming. Mm-hmm. And we are proud to have about 1,400 female professionals globally. And our members are not only in gaming, they're in tech, financial services, someone from the aviation also just joined recently, okay. But also women who aren't in these sectors who want to break in.
Okay.
And that is an initiative that I lead and co-lead with.
So it could be women from any part of the organization.
Exactly.
So it could be
students as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Students to C-suite to
exactly.
You talked earlier about entrepreneurs and startups, and so a real cross section.
Yes.
Okay.
We
young, old.
Exactly. We are very inclusive. Unfortunately, it is women only, so we don't exclude. We exclude men in our WhatsApp group, but we have our LinkedIn and Facebook, Instagram. Anyone can join, men and women. And I am on the board with 3 amazing women who are in gaming or service the gaming industry. So Yvonne Montealegro, she is the CEO and founder of the Malta and Costa Rica Poker Festival, and leads the poker operations for Sigma. And Fabiola Gracio, she is the founder of Smart Latam, and she helps gaming operators and other companies with go-to-market and growth and marketing. And Cristina Dos Santos, she is an executive recruiter at Van Kuysen, which services the gaming industry as well as other industries. I myself, I'm the co-founder of Bilateral. It's a crypto fiat settlement layer that offers settlement services to PSPs, payment service providers, banks, crypto exchanges. I also lead go-to-market for an AI cybersecurity firm called Video, and we offer services. It's also a B2B SaaS provider. We offer services to governments, to the financial services sectors, and tapping into gaming and crypto.
That's incredible. I mean, how do you find the time to kind of manage this
Yeah.
diverse, and it's as broad as it is deep, you know, what you're managing to do?
It's tough.
You have people with you, or how does that work?
I need a clown. No, I don't. It's been very hard to manage in terms of getting enough sleep. It's interesting, just thinking about my journey of even not getting enough sleep in college, doing all-nighters, drinking coffee, which I stopped drinking after I graduated, to working in investment banks in New York, London, also becoming a club promoter as well on the side for fun, not sleeping.
For fun?
For fun, just for fun. I didn't care about the money. It was just like, hey,
Yeah.
I was going out anyway.
It was a network builder as well.
It was a network, so I would have my free
I get
tables,
that.
bottles, and bring people in from Barclays, and so it was a very unhealthy time in my life because I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was burning out. I was also drinking a lot. Looking back, I do think I had a drinking problem. I wasn't an alcoholic, but I would go out, drink 8 cocktails until I kind of blacked out.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was when I first did my detox. My ex-boyfriend was like, I think you might have a problem. I'm like, I don't think so. Did a dry January detox very easily.
Well, it's easily done, I think, when you're kind of in an environment that requires that sort of high-level networking. You're like fully immersed with people, and I hear it frequently from people that work, in various sectors, but that where the kind of the social, person-to-person type approach to doing business is, it revolves around eating, drinking, socializing so much. That's where the deal gets done.
Exactly.
So
that's completely.
It's very, very easy. When.
It's so true, and but now I'm hardly drinking alcohol. My taste buds just.
They're awake.
I love iced water. That's what keeps me up. Iced water and cacao.
Okay.
And I've learned when I'm in these social settings, I mean, I lead sales, I go to conferences, I close deals at these, after conference events, that, hey, a mocktail looks with a mint and a lime looks exactly like a cocktail.
Does. That's the trick.
Yeah, and I'd get pressured into drinking. If someone finds out I'm not drinking, they're like, no.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I have my mocktail. It looks like a drink. No one's going to bother me.
You have to do that. It's funny, isn't it, that social pressure as well from people? It's like, I mean, an offer of a drink, whether it's a cup of tea or, a beer, a cold beer or a cocktail, it's an offer of friendship. And it's hard to refuse.
Exactly. So, and that goes full circle with what I've been pushing through within the Women in Gaming Association. I'm bringing in more wellness activities for our members because a lot of the conferences, as you said, are around drinking, and there are women in our association who don't drink and have actually expressed that they feel pressured at these conferences. And so I've encouraged being sober at conferences. I actually have an event that I am hosting and co-branding with SBC, which is a huge conference for gaming. They're having a conference in Malta next week, and I'll be offering meditation. My friend will be offering, a Maltese woman will be offering breath work. But I've been more cognizant of planning events for our members that aren't centered around drinking and going to a bar. So I'm partnering with Soho, which is the #1 co-working space in Malta. They're offering their rooftop for a wellness session that I'm hosting as a meditation guide. A Maltese woman will be offering breath work. She's certified in breath work, among other things. And another woman will be offering kind of yoga exercises. And it's right before the opening party for SBC.
Okay.
And so yeah, we've been having conversations within the association to really just stay healthy, whether or not you're drinking or not, getting enough sleep. During the conferences, I go to a lot of conferences. I crawl up in a little cocoon afterwards. I lost my voice, a lot of my energy. And so just learning how to replenish that and teaching others and reminding others to do that has been a big initiative for women in gaming.
Looking back at your time being involved with the Women in Gaming initiative project group, is there something that really stands out as like a kind of a proud moment? It's like, I've arrived, I've made a difference, I've, had an impact on either on an individual or a group of people. Is there something that sticks out for you?
Yes.
Yeah,
I would say
tell us
bringing
about it.
in the wellness aspect.
Okay.
I would say, sorry. I think the proudest moment as a board member of Women in Gaming is implementing more wellness events, gatherings in our event pipeline.
Okay.
And also having these open conversations within our WhatsApp group we have two, should probably move it over to Telegram, but we have almost 1,500 members within the WhatsApp group, and just having that open discussion about, hey, how can you balance going to a conference, closing deals, networking, while going to your bed and resting and
Yes.
Feeling like you're being healthy.
Okay.
Um,
With that, does there come a lot of personal pressure, like for that group, 1,500 people? I mean, you may not know them all personally, maybe you do, but like, do you feel any pressure from them as a role model, as the person to look up to on these kind of things? Because this is, what you're describing is the reality of challenging lifestyle in 2026 and beyond. It's not getting easier, is it, for anyone? The pressures, the demands, time seems less. I don't know. Do you then feel that because you've got your shit together,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And people are looking to you as the you give me the solution, give me the answer.
Yeah, I don't feel the pressure because I try to just be myself. I am, when I'm at the conference or at events, I love partying as well, and I'll have drinks here and there, but I would say that my words are also aligned with my actions.
Yeah.
And so there's no pressure because I'm just being me. But when I do speak to my fellow, not fellow because they're women, when I speak to the other board members, I'll say, hey, I have this, that, and that, and it just seems so busy. And I mean, we're all busy. And so I'm mindful of kind of even just like expressing how busy I am.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I would say one of the biggest initiatives that I've also rolled out, so I also manage like new members.
Okay.
And I really love, when members request to join and they're not a part of the industry, part of the gaming industry, but they want to get their foot into the door. So we're responsible for getting members hired into gaming operators.
So you're enabling opportunity as well.
Yes. Enabling people to get into the industry, and also women to move up and climb the ladder.
Okay.
Into the executive C-suite positions.
Absolutely. Well, thanks very much for all of that. It's been really, really interesting. In closing, I've got a couple of questions for you from our Would You Rather segment. Okay, and I'm going to fire off the first one. There's no escaping these questions.
Okay.
So you can't
I'm ready.
You can't put it back in the box. Okay. So, would you rather lead a team of 100 people in a corporate office or mentor 5 women entrepreneurs starting from scratch?
I would choose the former.
Okay. You like big challenges then?
I like big challenges.
Okay.
I do consider myself a mentor to other women. So that second option was very tempting, but I think that in a huge corporation, well, I know that in a huge corporation, mentorship programs and even organic kind of mentorship relationships are very much needed.
100%.
And to be able to have that opportunity to hold a safe space for a team of 100, I've done it before at Barclays.
How do you manage it? If you're, so on one side you're kind of, there's like the coaching element, the mentoring, and you kind of have to, then you have to manage that against like corporate expectations around targets and KPIs and all of that stuff. I mean, that's a tightrope you're walking all the time, right?
Exactly.
And you're equally you're maintaining those professional boundaries. And how does that work? How does it work effectively?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I had rolled out 360 mentorship programs at Barclays as the COO of a few diversity networks and women networks, and I partnered with HR. And the 360 was the 360 feedback. A director.
Is that so? There's like peer evaluation, peer feedback, 360.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
All right.
And so these small mentorship groups would be between, a managing director with an analyst, associate. And so the 360 peer-to-peer feedback was a big part of that program, a lot of times.
Okay. And did that move up and down the line and sideways
Exactly,
as well?
all over.
Okay. Yeah.
And typically a lot of mentorship relationships are the more senior person offering mentorship to the junior. We really wanted to have this 360 peer-to-peer feedback kind of flow so that the senior person can also better see the viewpoints of the juniors and the analysts and the associates.
Yeah, sure. So it's invaluable, that stuff.
Exactly. And that mentorship program also had an initiative to promote the juniors. And so that's why I worked with HR with understanding, what do the analysts, associates, AVPs, VPs need to do to get promoted?
There you go again. You're making the connections between people. You're like kind of the matchmaker as well within this. Yeah, okay.
And also to appreciate the structure that corporations have with internal mobility, and so through that, people were promoted. So really proud of rolling that out for those diversity DEI groups within Barclays Global.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Okay, all right, we're going to hit you with the last one. Let's see where we're going. I've got a choice here, so I'm just going to like kind of at random. Okay, this is a good one. I don't know if I'd like the question myself. But would you rather be able to see 10 years into the future of tech, or be able to go back and change a 10-minute conversation from your past?
Sure. That's a tricky question.
Back to the future.
Yeah, I mean, being in tech and AI and seeing where the money's going, where you can make money, I'd love to choose the former.
I would love you to choose that and then give me a call.
Like I invest in this.
Yeah.
But that would be what is it called? Insider trading.
Insider trading.
And I'm in fraud too, so that's anti-fraud.
Yeah. So no.
Yeah. So I, tech, it's ever changing. We don't know. We can't foresee.
You're just not telling us.
I wish, but it's so ever changing, especially with ever changing regulations, and so. I'm okay with all the tech that I'm still learning present day. I'm pretty busy my headspace is just full of things I need to learn
Yeah, yeah.
for tech that's
Always.
present now. So I would choose the latter.
10-minute conversation with someone.
Yeah.
There's something that springs to mind, do you think?
Yeah, I would have to choose my biological father.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen him since I was 5 years old.
Okay.
And I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't know that would be the last time I would see him. And it's one of the reasons why my mom and decided to leave California and move to New York.
Okay.
Because he was living in California as well.
Okay. But this is about unfinished business, or is it about some sort of gratitude? Or,
Yeah, I would say,
or understanding, maybe?
yeah. I mean, I was 5 years old. So I would just, I don't know, tell him I love him.
Okay. So it's a hug.
Yeah, like a hug, and ask him if he was okay, how he felt, what he was going through.
Okay. Did he not have a choice? Is that more complicated?
It's a bit complicated. Well, I'll tell it. I mean, so my parents were separated since I could remember. So my sister and I would spend time with him in California on the weekends. He lived
Okay,
close
I
to
gotcha.
my family home. And the last time I saw him, he was like, "Hey, let's go to the water park." And I was like, "Cool, totally." You know, asked my sister if she wanted to go, asked my cousins. No one wanted to go except for me. And I was like, cool, one-to-one time with my dad, you know. And he actually ended up, so it's a weird word to say because I was his kid, but he ended up kidnapping me for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
yeah, I was like missing for a couple of weeks.
And you're understanding that as an adult, that's coming from a place of love now.
Yeah, he never physically touched me, never verbally abused me. He was just going through some mental health issues, maybe wanting to
Okay.
emotionally hurt my mom by doing that.
Yeah.
So I was missing for a couple of weeks, and supposedly his plan was to bring me back to the Philippines.
Okay.
And back then, Amber Alert, I don't think was a thing in the U.S.
No, yeah.
When a child is missing in the U.S., you get a text.
That's right.
With
That's right.
the license plate, and but supposedly my
Where were you in those 2
yeah,
weeks?
I was at Sadie.
Where were you in those 2 weeks? Do you
I
have
was
a memory
in.
of?
It's interesting because again, I don't drive, but I was like, Dad, this isn't the way to the water park. Had no
Yeah.
idea.
Okay.
Like I was a very, I would say, mature 4-year-old.
Yeah.
He also had a gun in the car as
Okay.
well.
Oh,
So that
wow.
was,
Wow.
yeah. So I'm like, this is interesting. Kept my mouth shut. I'm like, okay, we passed the water park. But I was kind of like, okay, I feel safe. My father.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. He's my dad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so we were at a beach, staying in someone's home. I found out that it was his relatives.
Okay.
And my grandfather, who's like the rock of our family.
Paternal, maternal.
Yeah. So my mom's dad,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
grandfather, supposedly had like a dream of where I was. And they found me, the last time I saw my dad was him being handcuffed and put in the police car. And thankfully I was like reunited with my mom. And,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So
How do you process that when you're so young and you carry it forward?
yeah, I don't have any negative feelings towards him at all. Like, I send him love. He's reached out a few times.
He's here.
He's here, yeah. He's
okay.
moved back to the Philippines, had more children, and had moved back to the US.
Okay.
Lost touch, and my cousin, his sister's daughter, his niece, found me on Instagram.
Okay.
And she's like, "Hey, your dad is back. I haven't seen you since you were 5." And sadly, the family actually didn't know that he was arrested. His side of the family didn't know.
And so you've got this whole family you're disconnected from as well.
Exactly. And so, so it was really nice to hear from her, and she was shocked that had happened. He wasn't honest about his arrest and why we left.
Okay.
But I've connected with him. I spoke to him on the phone. Yeah. He's like,
what was, I wanted to ask, and I tell me to shut up.
No, not at all.
But like, what would be the one thing I wanted to ask you? What was the one thing you want to say to your dad? Because
say like, I love you.
Yeah.
I send you love. I forgive you.
Okay.
I hope you're well.
Do you need to understand where his head was at in that moment, do you think?
I don't feel the
need
need to. I assume I don't feel the need to. But if he wanted to offer that, if it was a part of also his healing experience, I would take the time to discuss that with him.
Yeah.
But
you're next level with this stuff. This is incredible, because I mean, forgiveness is at the heart of everything of our existence. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Easy to say, hard to do. We try to walk without bearing grudges and regret.
Exactly. And I think that I'm actually proud. I wouldn't say proud of that moment. I'm glad that it actually happened, because us leaving California and moving to New York led to my mom meeting my stepdad, Peter De Palma, who has been my dad, who has raised me. It's the reason I'm in business. He started his career on Wall Street as well.
Wow.
They had my sister and brother, who are...
I can see from your face.
Yeah, even though they're my half siblings, they're such
there's no halves.
a light.
Just, yeah. I mean, we talked earlier, family. just everyone's a cousin.
Exactly.
And it just cuts across. And for me, in closing, you're like big sister to so many people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I feel that way.
So I get that. There's no halves. It's just
exactly.
just family.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm glad that was a part of my journey. Because it's enriched my life and my family's life. So I would have that 10-minute conversation with him in person. I haven't seen him in person since then. I've spoke to him on the phone a few times, emailed him, but
Okay, that's great. I'm very grateful and honoured that you shared such a personal story with us. But what it demonstrates how everything happens for a reason, and to be resilient and robust and sure of yourself, is great. But also to have the headspace to reflect on these things. Some people walk through life, they can face trauma like this and not actually give it the time of day that it deserves to actually step back and think.
Yeah, I really appreciate you asking me that and giving me the safe space to reflect on that and to share that.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. In closing, because I like to ask everyone, so Temple Magazine, you got to be a little bit familiar with what we do and what we're about, and we try to sort of showcase the best of Malta in a really thoughtful way. That's what we try to do, and people describe us as a luxury lifestyle magazine, right? Our view within the editorial team, the creative team behind it, is that luxury is a really personal thing. And what does that mean? For me, it's not things. It's not what we consume. It's more about what we create for ourselves. And I wanted to ask you, if you could define like your luxury, what is that? You know, I know you don't do brands, for sure. I love that. But like, what is it? Is it that headspace? Is it walking on a beach? Is it reading a great book? I don't know. Is it being in Malta? Is it being in New York? Is it being in London? What's your luxury?
Yeah.
One
It's
thing.
a great question. For me, I practice daily gratitude, and the luxury of waking up and in a cozy bed
Yeah.
and being healthy is a luxury when a lot of people in this world don't have that luxury.
Sure.
And so...
It's when the small things for us are actually, it's the big things for others.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I really, really love that.
Yeah.
So,
very empathetic to what's going
Sure.
around in the world, and the luxury of just waking up, being healthy,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
able to breathe, having a roof over my head, having the food I need to eat,
Mm-hmm.
and my family and friends to support me, and the freedom of speech, and to do what I want to do is a luxury.
that's the luxury.
Yeah.
So, Joann, thank you so much for sharing some insights in your life, your journey. It's been a real pleasure. It's been an education also. And I'd like to share with you a gift from us at Temple Talks from our partners, Cleland and Souchet. They never fail to impress us with a gift. So this is for you.
Wow, thank you
It's
so
not
much.
as heavy as it looks, but it's kind of weighty.
Wow,
But
thank
I'm gonna
you
give you
to the sponsors for this. It was such a gift to be here. Thank you for the gift of your presence and for allowing me to share more about myself. And
that's brilliant.
can't
Thank
wait
you.
to open this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate it.